Welcome to the Windy City's Finest On Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Mac, he's Perry, and this is...
Jessikah Babe.
Yeah, so we're in Medicine Hat, Jessikah. It's a lovely day outside. I'm excited to get to know you and eventually learn about your art. Yeah, maybe just like very briefly, like I know you're a multi-disciplinary artist, but if you could just like summarize your art in like a sentence, what sort of art do you do?
That's an impossible question, but I'll try to do that. I'm a multi-disciplinary artist, so I do music, filmmaking, visual art, just anything that I can use to express myself, and I like just being authentic and building community through it.
There we go, yeah. I'm super excited to learn about that. But first we gotta do some icebreaker games. So we're gonna start with some Medicine Hat trivia. How are you at trivia?
Terrible.
Great, good. Well, I mean, I'm not very good at it, but we will get maybe an easy one. Okay, here, we'll go way back. We'll go way back to the beginning, to 1883.
Oh.
Yeah.
Classic.
You're familiar with 1883, I'm sure.
Yeah, the good old days.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just the beginning of Medicine Hat as a city. So in 1883, what reached the area that would become Medicine Hat, causing a town site to first be developed? Is it A, the Northwest Mounted Police, B, the Canadian Pacific Railroad, C, a battle between the Blackfoot and Cree nations, or D, a traveling hat business?
I'm going to say B, actually.
B, Canadian Pacific Railway. You're right.
Whoa.
There are no points or money for these, but you got it.
They need to give me keys to the city now.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to switch it over to you. You're going to ask me a question about Perry. We'll see what I can do.
Okay. Perry has been to how many farmers markets in Medicine Hat? A, 1, B, 3, C, 5, or D, 11?
Wow. He loves farmers markets. Loves tomatoes and kale. I'm going to say 3 was B? That was 3?
It was 1.
It was 1. Okay. He mostly likes Lethbridge farmers markets. All right. 1 farmers market.
It was close. It was close.
All right. The next game is in our hat. It's Medicine Hat. This is called This or That. And this is just very simple questions, like coffee or tea, cats or dogs. And then you can answer whether you're a dog person, cat person, whatever. I will answer, and we get to know each other a bit. It's fun. So we'll get you to pick first.
Okay. So I'm asking myself this, or I'm asking you?
I guess you'll ask me, because, yeah. Probably should have gone the other way, but it's too late.
All right. Time or money?
Good question. Good question. Time, yes.
That's a good answer.
Right? Yeah. I have enough money, so
yeah.
I always want more time.
Exactly.
I've got a lot of time, too. And you? Time or money?
Definitely time.
Yeah.
As a creative, you're always out of time. You're always running late.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More time. But more money would also do the trick. That'd be nice.
Yeah?
I need
Sounds
time
like you're
and money.
flip-flopping.
Actually.
Flip-flopping. Both time and money.
This is a trick question.
Yeah, right? All right. Great. I'm going to ask one. What's this one? Good. Fiction or nonfiction books?
I'd say nonfiction. I like a good science fiction. Not like robot science fiction, but just like something's kind of weird about it. Like Stranger Things.
That'd be like fiction, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Like nonfiction would be like...
Oh, wait.
Yeah, so more science fiction.
I write, guys. Yeah. I'm proving it right now that I'm a good writer. I mean, fiction, yes.
Okay, fiction. It's fine. Science fiction is fiction. Yeah, I'm more nonfiction, the real nonfiction. Yeah, just learn about stuff. So, but science fiction is great too.
Yeah, they're both equally awesome.
Yeah. All right, I guess your turn.
Okay, here we go. I can feel it. This one's a good one. Spring or fall?
It's a tricky one. My gut says fall. It's like I like summer, but then it's super hot, and it gets a little cooler. You get like sweater weather. Thanksgiving's always nice. Just the colors change. In Lethbridge, we have a lot of wind, so the leaves don't stick around very long. But yeah, fall for me, I guess. You?
I'd say spring, just because I like seeing things come to life.
Right.
But there's nothing like listening to sad music in fall time. So
there we go.
And wearing a cozy sweater. So that's
tricky,
a good point.
Right. I like spring too. These are hard questions that we've written. These are the difficult ones. All right, let's do one more. Yeah, one more each. Why not? Text or call?
Ooh, I'd say call.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like just having a good old gab with a friend, you know?
There we go, yeah. Depending on the context, I would say call as well, yeah. Just to chat.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right, one more,
Catch up.
and then we're gonna
Here we go.
go to the tumbling towers game.
Ooh, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee's good.
Yeah, I don't get the tea. Sorry, Perry. Loves the tea. Sorry, and yourself?
I'd say coffee just because I love a good ice cap. I'm very Canadian that way. It's the most
Yeah.
patriotic thing about me.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, I just like coffee. I'm a big tea person, so it's fine. Everyone has their preferences.
2 against 1? Sorry, Perry.
Yeah. All right, so our last game, Tumbling Towers game. So this one, it's just kind of some open questions, like what's your perfect day look like? Coffee or money? I don't know, no, but they're open questions. And yeah, this is like the Tumbling Towers game. So we'll pull out a tile, and then it will correspond to a number. Have you played the Tumbling Towers game?
I have, yes.
Great, yeah. Good, so you know the rules. Just to refresh, just in case. You can't take from the top 3, but everything else, yeah, put it on top. Yeah, so why don't you pick a tile?
Okay, this one's kind of calling my name here. Or it's stuck in there. That's not going to happen. There we go. Zen mode. Okay, that's either 18 or 81.
That's an 18. There's not 81 tiles. You can put it on top. All right, 18. This is a great question. It's one of my favorites. What is something that takes a lot of time, but it's definitely worth it?
I'd say family, just because like they are your entire life for the rest of your life. So just put your time to that, and it's worth it.
It's worth it. Take some time to. What sort of time, like just to like spend with them, or to get along with them?
Just
Sometimes
to
they just
spend
take a
with
lot of
them.
time. Yeah.
Hang out with them, like holding babies and stuff. Like.
Okay. Yeah. Great. A lot of babies in your family?
There's a ton. I have like I've lost track, but I think there's like 8 or 9 babies so far, and there's gonna be more. So.
Oh. Big family.
Some of them are like 4-year-old babies, but still.
Yeah, very cute. Nice. Yeah. I've answered this one before, but I'm going to do a different answer maybe. What comes to mind first is I do a lot of hiking in the mountains. I think that's something it takes a lot of time. Sometimes you're hiking for 12 hours, but the views and being in nature and stuff, totally worth it. That's my answer today.
The longer the hike, the better, actually.
Right?
So it's a metaphor for life. Yeah. I love hiking. Yeah.
Where do you go hike?
Around Elkwater, but I've done a few hikes in Banff, and I did one in particular where it was probably actually like a 4-hour hike. And at the top, it was like, are all the colors like 4K Ultra HD, or is it just like, am I just so fatigued or something? Like, there's just something so vibrant at the top of a mountain. But
right.
Yeah.
Those spots you just have to, hike to get there. It takes time.
Exactly.
It's worth it.
And then there's babies at the top, so you get babies.
Sometimes you find babies at the top. I never have, but maybe a baby bear.
Uh-oh.
Or a baby person. Yeah, nice, great. I love that question. It's one of my favorites. All right. Yeah, well, this has been great. It's been good to get to know you a little bit, Jessica. This is all the time we have for this segment. This has been the Windy City's Finest on Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Mac, he's Perry, and this is...
Jessikah Babe.
All right, we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome once again to the Windy City's Finest on Location with Mac and Perry. He's Mac, I'm Perry, and this is...
Jessikah Babe.
Yes, multidisciplinary artist extraordinaire. Thank you so much for meeting with us, and it was a pleasure watching you play the icebreaker games with Mac. And yeah, I'm super excited to dive into your artistic journey and just get to know more about that. So I think let's just start really broad strokes here. Like, what can you tell me about your artistic practice as it currently stands? Like, where you are currently? What are you working on most, or what are your hopes and dreams currently?
I like working on everything all at once, but of course, different phases of life, I put more energy into one thing. So right now I'm more focused in my band that we're working on original music right now. We're developing that, and I'm also finishing up my first book. So there's lots of poetry in there, lots of stories and personal essays. So I'm just taking time to just put that all together, rework it, and then writing and singing, performing. So lots of fun stuff.
I do appreciate you saying it's kind of like having the color palette, having all the different things available. And it does sound like you kind of jump between things and oscillate between a lot of different things at once. What can you tell me about that process? Is it draining or is it invigorating?
I'd say it's invigorating. Like, you'd think at face value that like, oh, like you need to focus on one thing, like pick a thing. But since I'm very like ADHD, if I work on everything at once, I'm constantly moving. Because if you lose momentum as an ADHD person, then you're just stuck and you don't do anything. So I'm better off just doing all of it, because then more gets done in the long run. And then it all kind of informs each other. Like, I like to say that I paint like a poet, or like I sing like a writer, just because I like my singing and my songwriting to be multidimensional, and I think it kind of, that's just the way I am, so why would I work against my nature? But still also trying to learn discipline at the same time, because you can't just be completely undisciplined, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
It's a work in progress. It takes time.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yes, no, it was not. No, that's super interesting. And can you tell me, were you always like that? Or did you previously, has that always been your process? Kind of everything all the time, always?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah? I'd say like ever since I was little, I always did every medium, was kind of all over the place. But I think I didn't fully understand that I was creative. I kind of second guessed it too much. So I didn't put enough of my energy into it. So I had long periods of just being stuck and just playing Heyday for too long. I think I missed out on a lot of creative potential because of games on my phone when I was younger. But once I got older, I realized that like, why waste my creative energy on just these outlets that aren't doing much for me? And then I started just doing everything and keeping momentum. So
what can you tell me about your band and also your solo work as a musician?
Yeah, so my solo work was kind of like I might as well try it out, let's do it. And then I got accolades and family and friends liked it. So I was like, maybe I'm gonna find a producer, record my stuff. And then from there, it kept building till I was like, well, I need a band now to perform my music. And then once we had the band together, then we're like, let's make some original music. So the four of us, we have different musical backgrounds, like some jazz influence, some punk influence. So we make lots of interesting indie rock music. I write a lot of the lyrics, but then the drummer writes some lyrics. And we just have fun every week, just hanging out as friends. And we're just working on getting a good collection of work together and hopefully recording it and sharing it with the world if we have enough money. So let's hope that we have time and money. And coffee and tea to keep us going. Yep.
Nice. And what else can you tell me about that idea of like working collaboratively with a group of people versus yourself? Because I feel like there's this authenticity thing going on. And just like really knowing yourself and being a human being and knowing that you can make mistakes. That was like there was a bunch in there in my question.
I'm following the through line. I see it.
Yeah, the collaboratively, and then just like knowing yourself and what that journey is like. Those two things.
Yeah, I'd say like I really enjoy doing solo stuff, and just there's nothing like just sitting in the basement at 9 p.m. and just working on a project. Oh, late at night, because I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
And then staying up till the birds are chirping and being like, oh my goodness, like I was in a zone there. And then like there's something just so amazing about having that moment with yourself where you're making something. But I think collaborating with people is where the real magic is at. Because it's interesting seeing the other personality and like skill dynamics in the band. Like, for example, since I'm so authentic and just like let's just do whatever, I need people who are more like, you know what, like this is like music theory, this is like what is good, like this is what is bad, like we need to make this snappy, like we're gonna practice, we're gonna work hard. And so it's really cool having those people in my band or like just around me to challenge me, so we all become better together. And like I get to kind of steal their talent a little bit, because like I don't know how to play drums like that. I don't know how to play bass like that. I don't know how to play guitar, but I get to steal that, and it makes me look like I'm part of that and I'm doing that. So it kind of makes me feel like a con artist at the same time. But like being in a band is just really special.
But there's stuff that they steal from you too.
Exactly.
Right? So
Whoa, how dare they?
I know, right? Yeah. What can you tell me about the other disciplines that you do that we might feature a bit later?
Yes. So I do lots of writing. My writing journey kind of just started as just making random fun little stories. And then it became kind of a method of survival for a little bit, because when everyone goes through their angsty teenage to adult years where you're lost in the universe, you don't really know how to get out of that kind of place. So I wrote a lot of poetry and just threw a lot of stuff at the wall just to help myself mentally. And after a while I was like, maybe I should just put this in like a collection to show the world. And then as I had that in mind, then I started writing like personal essay stuff. So now I'm in a stage with that book or that collection where I'm starting to figure out what the main plot is, and I'm trying to put all the stuff, all the poems and stuff together to make like a book. And yeah, I love writing. It's just a nice way to just have moments with myself, but then later give it to someone else so they can have an intimate moment with themselves in the work. So.
Interesting. Yeah, there's more to get into there for your writing. I'm very curious, without getting into like the nitty gritty like bits, but like as a tool to like help yourself. And you even mentioned like the term like survive for a bit there. And I'm just curious about that because I think in your segment with Mac, you mentioned like people maybe don't give themselves enough credit to create and try things and potentially fail. So I'm just curious what else you could share about using writing, using a creative outlet to like survive or just maybe have a slightly better existence.
Yes, totally. I'd say people who don't create, they're just a big dam of water. And I feel like by creating, I feel like I've become a little bit of a river, as corny as that is.
I love it.
But
I'm here for it. Yeah.
I've gotten to a point where there isn't a distressing thought or feeling that I can't somehow transform into a word or a picture. Even if it's not like a beautiful one that I can share with other people and they'll applaud, like at least I can get something outside of myself and look at it, and then it can transform me back. So it's kind of like a back and forth with my work. So both my work and myself are growing and developing. So I think everyone needs to create. And I think failure is not failure. It's just like an invitation to problem solving. And I think so many creative opportunities have been destroyed by the fear of embarrassment. I think like to be outside the box and to break convention and to do your purpose is to be embarrassed. Because like if you're going to bring something new to the world, it's unconventional. And anything unconventional is embarrassing and weird. So just weird it up. Get weird.
Weird it up. I love that. Yes. And I really appreciate what you're saying about like, maybe it's not a pretty thought or thing or feeling or emotion, but we don't always have pretty emotions by virtue. I think it's a plethora, right? And so I don't know. I really appreciate what you're saying there. Because it sounds like you're giving yourself permission, and then by sharing it, others permission to like feel those things or experience them or name them. And I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, definitely. Like my poetry book / everything book, hybrid book, whatever you'd call it, it started off as just like distress and just like kind of having a really careless attitude about everything. So I carelessly wrote, like I wrote absurd stuff that had no meaning, no point. And then now as I read back to it, I'm like, there was clearly a point. Like it was so absurd and it was so free and it was so easily discardable that like that in all its complexity and mess, there was like something that was staying consistent through the whole thing. So I'm really glad that in those distressed moments that I took the chance to just like throw everything at the wall, because now I have something that I'm still reading and it's still like processing and healing me, and maybe someone will hear it and they'll be like, you know what? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it's a total failure, then I just prove to people that they're allowed to fail. So it's a win-win-win on all sides.
It's a win-win-win. Absolutely.
Exactly.
No, that's awesome. And any other artistic disciplines that you might be able to share anything about?
I do.
Writing, music,
Yeah, I guess where do I start? I could talk forever about all the things I like.
Yeah, what do you got?
How many hours do you have?
Oh.
But I'd say one final like discipline I'd like to talk about is like visual stuff. I'm a big fan of movement. So I do like visual 2D art, but I really like film because there's movement in that. And so I've made lots of like just fun, weird little YouTube videos. Go check them out. I also made a documentary I'm quite proud of a burn survivor from Edmonton area. And it's like done pretty well. It won like quarterfinalist at Swift Film Festival, and it's gotten quite a few views on YouTube. And it's really impactful. It's a cool story. Go check it out. And then also go reach out to the guy that was in the documentary because he's a lovely person and you should chat with him. He's cool. And yeah, I think I'd really love to just like do some more film in the future, write for TV. That's like the dream, to be in a writer's room writing for TV.
Okay.
And so if anyone's like doing a TV show and need a writer, like please call me up. You know where to find me, Medicine Hat.
Yeah.
I won't be in this building all the time, but
No.
I'll be somewhere on the streets, maybe at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
So.
Or playing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. I guess like another thing that I wanted to touch base with you on is like your experience here in Medicine Hat and like coming to the college, and I believe you started a club here.
I did.
Yeah. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I'd say Medicine Hat's a great place to just like get your feet under you, no matter whatever area of life you are. Like, I think it's nice, calm, secure, steady city, and it's pretty like it's the Wild West in that you can introduce any creative idea, and people are pretty kind and neighborly. So like, oh well, we'll entertain that. We'll come to your show. We'll like try this art exhibit. So it's a good place to try something, no consequences. And so I've been able to try lots of things, and people are so friendly about it. Like everyone's so connected. There's some really cool little communities. And then coming to the college, that was really special, being in the art and design program, because just being connected to everyone there, developing my visual arts abilities, as well as just like becoming more of myself as a human. And I was wanting some film opportunities because there's not a lot of film opportunities around here. There's the creators, but no organization, or else little organization. So I was like, you know what? Let's try starting a film club, and then we'll see who wants to join. We'll see what we can do. And then there was lots of interested, passionate people, and then we put on some film festivals. It was really cool seeing like some animators join and seeing what they're doing now with their careers and just their creativity. Like sometimes it's so, being an artist, like curating community is also, I think, a type of craft or type of art. So even just being able to just round up all these like herding cats together and then seeing them like once the club separates for the season, like everyone takes what they've developed and builds into themselves. So I think maybe what would be missing from Medicine Hat or Medicine Hat College is just the next step from there. Like now you have people that are like showing interest in trying to put things together. So if like the city could like put their resources and energy into those communities so that it can really glue people together. Because I think there's the beginning stage is something special here, but it'd be really cool if in like the institutions like the college and the people that have like say can start to really establish things so that it's not just all volunteer energy. Because with the film club, I like left the program because I went to be a snowboard instructor and like focus on my band. So I guess I don't really know if they kept the club going. I have a sense that they didn't, but I have the sense that they wanted to. So someone should investigate why it didn't happen, if it didn't happen. But so it'd be really cool to see that kind of come back. Like it hasn't gone anywhere. It's just it needs to get organized again. And did I answer your question or did I just ramble?
Absolutely. No, you're doing so good. You're doing so good. Yeah, and like the thing that I was really taking from what you're saying is just that idea of like curating community, and how that is like an art to itself, and that you had a bit of experience doing that. And it sounds like you've kind of pivoted away from maybe within an institution, and you're kind of just trying to do that more on yourself, like on your own, like with your own community and your own artwork. But I do appreciate like that idea of bringing people together and seeing what they're doing, and then that time away from each other as well, and how that kind of informs it.
Yeah, community is like, if there was no community, no one would create. I think if you were a singular human being on Earth, I don't think you would create. I think you'd need someone just to exist around you.
You need another community. You need more than just yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So it's special. Don't underestimate it.
Don't underestimate it. Love it. I guess another question that I have here would just be, can you tell me about like any of your artistic inspirations?
Ooh. Oh, that's so hard because everything, like vague concepts inspire me.
Right. Yeah.
But like literal inspirations like Elton John, if you're watching, please. I'm right here. Oh, I touched that. Sorry. I hope that didn't like break anybody's eardrums.
It should be okay.
Okay, good. I like Deftones. I like Radiohead, Indigo D'Souza, Big Thief, Willow. I love like really dark and like agony music, but then also just super like happy and cheery. Like I think as a human being, I'm multidimensional, so I like music that covers all those dimensions. I like some of Charles Bukowski's writing, Sylvia Plath, Roald Dahl, Dr. Seuss. Like man, fictional characters. Can I keep listing things, or are we running out of time?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying to hear a few more.
Yeah. I guess I get. There's so many inspirations, but it's hard to really funnel it all into like cohesive language. But I think I have lots of inspirations out there, and I think even musicians can inspire my visual art, and like visual artists inspire my whatever. So
yeah, how has your artistic practice or practices changed you as a person?
How hasn't it? Like it's grown me in every aspect. Like I've become more confident, more aware of myself. Like if you're just aware of yourself, like you can do so many things in life. Like if you're just living like a drone where you don't feel your body, you don't feel your emotions, like you're just existing. So I think it's taught me how to like even just be more structured in my daily life and like take better care of myself and it's taught me everything. Yeah, it's almost like a parent and it's my child. So it's this weird relationship. I'm in a codependent relationship with my art.
I mean, hey, there's worse things to be doing. So.
Exactly. I could be doing drugs, and I'm not, so don't do drugs.
Yes, don't do drugs. You heard it here. But no, I really appreciate that idea of like self-reflection is kind of what I think I'm hearing. And just really being tuned into, what you're experiencing and validating that. So I think that's as good a note as any to end off on.
Exactly.
So this has been the Windy City's Finest on Location with Mac and Perry. He's Mac, I'm Perry, and this has been
Jessikah Babe.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Windy City's Finest on Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Mac, he's Perry, and this is
Jessikah Babe.
So I really enjoyed your segment with Perry, learning about your journey as an artist and the various things you're involved with. And I'm very excited to showcase them and look at some of your art and talk about it. So what would you like to show us first?
I'll first show you my first zing moment where I felt like I created something beyond myself. And I'll remind you, this doesn't mean that it is amazing or excellent or life-changing. But this is the very first thing I made for when I was like 6, where I was like, whoa, that was a zing. So we have some National Geographic photos collaged together, Frankenstein. That was the first time where I was like, I actually like making things. And I think most of my work is like curating and like just connecting things together. So I think that was like a sign of who I am now, is where I just like piecing lots of different things together. So that's a nice little, this is when I was little. So there we go.
And how old would you have been when you did this?
Probably 6, I think. Yeah.
I guess too young, but like, do you remember kind of making it? Like,
I do.
Yeah, you do? You remember the moment?
I was like, because I went to a really small school in Bow Island where we like were in like these little mobile trailers. I remember just like the gross, disgusting, like, what is it, linoleum or whatever floors. And I was like, I was sitting on them and like working on this against that as a backdrop. And I was sitting with my best friend. Like, I weirdly remember that. I also remember Mr. Funston. He was an amazing teacher. Love that guy. I still think about him from time to time. Like, man, he helped me a lot. So, and then this is also my first novel. Everyone has to start somewhere. Okay. It's made on a popcorn book thing.
Well, let's see the cover here just briefly. So let's see if Eric
it's weird. It's weird.
No judgment.
Yeah, it's
this is your first. How old would you have been when you made this?
Ooh, maybe 8 years old.
So a couple years later, she's advanced in her skills.
Very advanced,
A book of great intelligence.
Oh, yes. And there's some amazing drawings in here, too. And I do have one qualm against you, Mr. Funston. You put red pen on this. Oh. No, it's actually so special, because then I have the corrections now. And look, I got a 28 on this, guys. Out of 30, I believe. Good. No one can be perfect.
Not 100. Good.
Yeah, but if you want to read this, it's not available anywhere, so good luck finding it. But that is my book.
And it's, sorry, we have to go back to this.
Oh, yeah.
This is made on, this is a box that was popcorn?
Yeah, a popcorn box. I think
Is this what was available?
It was. Sometimes you just got to work with what's available. And I also wrote on the spine here. That's some really high quality printing quality.
What does this say? Detective?
Corky Jr.?
Detective Corky Jr. And obviously we won't have time to read this story, but generally what was it about? What was the theme, the synopsis?
It was about, I kind of thumbed through it yesterday, but it was like this bizarre tale of like this like spy guy that's like solving crimes. And the epilogue was pretty absurd. I don't know how it ended up. It was like I insulted somebody, and that was like the ending, the final note. Let's see who I insulted. Hardy Boys. Oh yeah, I said that Hardy Boys books make me go zzz, and that was the end.
Right.
So yeah, it was just a fun little spy story.
Yeah, and what was the reason you felt like you wanted to bring this? not that it's bad. What was
How dare I?
when you said, let's bring some art, and you thought, when I was 8. But no, why was it? So it was meaningful because it was kind of something different, or?
I wanted to bring it because I want to show that everyone starts somewhere, and that like, it doesn't have to be nice. And I was a kid, but like, you could make stuff that looks like a kid now as an adult. And like, this kind of builds onto what I make now. So this kind of is like the preliminary work for the stuff that I do now. So
let's see what you do now.
Yeah, hopefully it's better than that.
Right.
If not, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's printed, so we're off to a good start.
Yes. No red pen on here. So
some poetry, right? From this book you're working on? Or?
Yes, actually, I don't have any poetry from the book, but I do have song lyrics from the band. If we want to read song lyrics, I also have a absurd philosophical story about a three-legged horse, and I also have a personal essay about quitting a job after one day. Called The Unemployed Zuccotic versus the Tomato Industrial Complex. So maybe we'll switch the pieces. I'll take this down.
Let's switch the pieces.
So this is something I made in art school. So that is me with a stuffed animal. Fun fact, I'm trying to depict myself when I went through cannabis psychosis and how disorienting that was. So I feel like I've been disoriented a lot in life where like I lost the foundation of my being, like losing my faith, and then going through cannabis psychosis is the most traumatic thing like I feel like anyone could ever experience. So this kind of depicts transformation and distress and being in a stuck place. And I have 3 different art pieces in here that I took from other artists like Fiona Ray and some other artists I'm forgetting their names of. But so it's kind of in the foreground, background, all around me. It's kind of chaos. But there's a little bit of clarity in the chaos because of just, like the central theme of just me trying to find myself in the midst of all that. And there's kind of like something childlike about me here. So as I go into adulthood, like there's always that inner child that I'm kind of working on or remembering. So I wanted to depict myself as an adult with all these adult kind of themes, but I'm still clinging to a little lamb trying to hold on to that inner sense of self, I guess. I
really appreciate you sharing this painting. I think it's really lovely, and that transformation from a young person to an adult is always impactful. So yeah, I really like it. And this was this was a project then for your studies?
Mm-hmm. We're supposed to do was it a self-portrait or just we're supposed to combine 3 works that already existed and put our own thing in it. I think it was ourselves, and then I just felt inclined to this. I also love the color orange against blue, so that's why I chose that background there. But yeah, school project. Yeah. We love school. Stay in school. Not like me, I left. Maybe I'll come back.
Good. All right, let's hear this song lyrics.
Song lyrics, but I'll read it like a poem. So it's called Cycles because transforming and being in this place where I'm not settling down. I feel like everything's changing, everything's cycling. I feel kind of like I love the mountains, but I kind of feel like a mountain landscape where it's like spring, summer, winter, fire, flood, like all the things going on. And so with this relationship, when it ended, it felt, okay, whoops. When this relationship ended, I was like, not again. Like I just like rebirthed into something, and now that I'm like, I feel like I'm burning into ashes again. But that's the beauty of life. Wildflowers are actually good things for ecosystems. So I'll try reading this as a poem. So this is Cycles. I'm falling in love again. Go slower, go slower, go slower. I can't. Loving relentlessly. Living is dying over and over and over and over again. Can I catch a breath? Tasting sensations, healing and grieving in seasons. I'm a creature of feeling, needing a reason. One thing life's taught me is you only have what you had. I know it sounds depressing, but it keeps you from holding your breath. Love is so sweet, but when it dies, oh, does it reek. But I embrace the change of the coming days and whatever they do to me. I'm falling in love again. Go slower, go slower, go slower. I can't. It's my nature. Living is dying over and over and over and over again. Can I catch a breath? I'm falling in love again. It's got me crawling and dying all over again. set of cycles.
No, it's lovely. Yeah,
And my band performs it at gigs, and we'll probably record it. It's one of those songs where it sounds good with a full band because you get like a big open space of powerful music, but then maybe I'll record it as a single just because it's very intimate and very like private. So then if you just hear me singing it one-on-one, who knows? But yeah, so I guess.
And what is that? I just have a follow-up question. I can ask more questions. Yeah, I guess what is that like for you to perform something like that, to be vulnerable in that way?
It's hard because sometimes you're performing something super valuable and you're like, do they even get it? Like, what is this? But honestly, being on a stage is like a new intimate moment with my work. So I feel like I sang that song this Friday, and when I was singing it, I didn't feel like anyone was really in the room. Like it was just, with all the nerves of being on a stage and being in front of people, it felt like I got to experience a new side of that song. So I think I'm trying to stay cautious. I think it was Goth or Goth, whatever his name is. He said like he regrets like making public all his like troubles as a youth. So I think I'm trying to be like, okay, like what should I just keep private? Like maybe I don't need to air all my dirty laundry. But that was one thing where I'm like, you know what? It was impactful for me, so maybe it would have the same transforming effect on somebody else. And it's cool to put a name to the constant change and living and dying that is being a human that grows. So
there we go. Yeah, well, I feel like we could talk for hours and go through so much of your art because you have so many talents. But I believe that is all the time we have today. Thank you so much, Jessikah, for spending the time with us and get to learn about your art.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so this has been the Windy City's Finest On Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Mac, he's Perry, and one last time,
Jessikah Babe here.
It's Mac and Perry in the place. Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry
Go live to create.
Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry invite you to stay.